expensive technologies and expensive broadband to penetrate into rural areas. If the cost of technology is, let's say, 500 rupees is the ARPU, to subsidize the rural folk, 400 rupees a month in his account directly, is going to take a long time. So do you have a proposal to subsidize research and innovation in this field? Thank you.
The universal service providers, means all service providers. So right now, there is no proposal to directly subsidize the R&D or give some financial support for R&D, because how USOF works is that this whole thing goes through a bidding process. So if you want to implement some scheme, we go through the bidding process. So the service provider can bring any technology. And so this R&D and innovation has to come from the service provider, so that while bidding, then he will be competitive. But otherwise, we have some schemes, say like pilot schemes. If they have some technology specific to the Indian conditions, then we can support the pilot projects, and then that will be funded by USOF. Otherwise, there is no proposal as such right now to give financial support to R&D.
Yeah, this is Jose Pereira. We just discussed that there's focus on broadband penetration in rural areas. At the same time, we want to use VoIP technology to bring down the cost of per call in rural areas. Now, at the same time, I can recollect that there is a regulation which prohibit using interconnecting VoIP technology to PSTN networks. So when we're talking about such efforts being brought in, are there any relaxations from the TRAI side in terms of these regulations which were there? Also, like we have seen, there is no clarity as far as these regulations are concerned. If you go to TRAI sites, there's no clear picture as to what is legally allowed and what is not. See, if you take an example of a Skype phone, everybody uses Skype, but very few people know or don't know whether Skype is legally allowed or not. So CII as an outcome of this Teletech 2011, are they making a representation to TRI, urging them actually to bring out clarity as far as these regulations are concerned?
So that I'll just make a comment here that VoIP originating from phones as on date is legally not allowed. Regulation prohibits it. But this situation may change going forward. When you have ubiquitous data availability everywhere, but as of now, you can originate calls from a PC or a laptop and terminate on the other end. Originating a call from a mobile phone using VoIP technology at the moment is prohibited. Would you like to add something on that?
Rahul, do you want to go first? You had some comment. Okay, sure.
So, it's essential not to confuse between technology and, can you hear me? Yeah. It's essential not to confuse between technology and the legislation. The legislation around VoIP was more to avoid closed user groups to be connected into public switched groups. Right? That was the main thing, and closed user groups carried VoIP more often. Public switched was more PSTN, as we called it, which is why the interconnect issues were being faced. Yeah? That was the reason. So apart from that, VoIP is being used in India today to carry voice calls in the backhaul, right? So VoIP technology is not disallowed in India. A lot of your backhaul, a lot of your switching that is happening in tier 2 switches and behind that is running on VoIP.
I will answer. To clarify the TRAI and DOT, they have issued a circular notification dated 14th December 2005 that all universal access service providers can provide VoIP calls, terminate on PSTN or mobile. It is there in the circular very clearly.
Yeah, countries globally who have allowed VoIP. India is among the last countries where VoIP termination on PSTN is not allowed. Okay, so like I was saying, most countries in the world allow VoIP, and backhaul uses VoIP, and except the landing on PSTN, which also Mr. Rao said there's a circular, VoIP is here. In fact, the NTP 2012, there's a consultation paper in that thing, which is clearly VoIP based with 4G LTE coming in, especially with the TDD networks that are being rolled out. VoIP is a core function or application in that. So I would like to believe that that's very soon going to change.
Sir, my name is Parth. I am from MIT School of Telecom Management. Sir, we are talking about rural, but what I think is still urban is not that much penetrated, that we were expecting that 3G is coming, so we'll switch to 3G. But we are paying 20% more on 2G. And we can see that out of 100 people, only 5 people are using 3G. So likewise, now we are saying that within 1 or 2 years, 4G will be there, LTE will be there, WiMAX will be there. But the prices are too high. Service providers are paying too much to the government for the spectrum. And government is not giving the licenses in less cost. How the consumer will get benefit of all these